Welcome back. Dan Hodges is with us for our nature segment, and you've got a lot of pelts here this morning. So you must be trying to teach us something.
Well, so this is a menagerie of different animals that you might find in your yard or in your neighborhood with babies. And that's kind of the idea. This is the time of year, folks, when there's just babies everywhere. And it's certainly in the coming months, we'll be seeing more and more things like rabbits in your yard or deer in the neighborhood woods, or even possums or raccoons or birds, certainly. This is the time of year in springtime when everything's, starting to have their babies. So the idea here is I wanted to show you a couple of these things, but at the end of the day, I want you to go home saying, leave it alone.
Leave it alone, okay.
Because I can't tell you how many times we, at the Park District, which we can't really do anything about orphaned wildlife, but we get so many calls about, I found this animal in my yard. What do I do with it? Well, we've already done too much, right? We've already kidnapped the baby that would have been okay, and now we've kind of put it in peril. So rabbits, for example, rabbits will have this beautiful little nest, just a tiny little hole in your yard sometimes.
Oh yeah, I've run over them with my mower.
I know,
yeah.
Isn't that terrible? Oh, what a terrible feeling. But these little babies, mom's not coming back to the nest except for maybe twice a day, in the morning and the evening. So you might see this nest and say, oh no, it's abandoned. I've been watching it for hours and mom never came back. Mom knows what she's doing. Mama Rabbit, I'm telling you, mothers are very good. They're gonna take care of their babies. And when you remove them from the nest, that's when they're in danger now, right? Because mom can't take care of them anymore. And people, we do the best we can. And there's rehabbers who try really, really hard. But people are not as good animal mothers as animal mothers are. So deer, for example, this baby deer, what a gorgeous little animal. This guy's gonna lay on the forest floor all day long. And with that spotted coat, that dappled coloration, it's going to be nearly invisible until you walk right on it, and then
all of a sudden he'll move.
then he starts to move. But this guy is going to just wait for mom. That's his job. And mom knows she's going to come back. She'll come back in the morning. She'll come back in the evening. And when you show up and say, "Oh, look, a baby deer. Where's mom? I don't see mom." Well, that's because mom's doing what moms are supposed to do, and she's going to take care of her baby. Don't take this animal out of the wild. And the same is true for all the rest of these. I brought in some bluebirds here just to show you. Down at the very bottom, there's a fledgling bluebird. If you see a bluebird with some feathers hopping around your yard, maybe it can't fly very well, but that bird is being tended by its parents and is okay. Leave it alone. If you see something with an obvious visible injury, there's blood, or it's in your dog's mouth, right? If you see something with an obvious injury, or it's in imminent danger, so if you see a turtle in the road, then we might step in, right? So if it's an obvious injury, there are rehabilitators who can help that. If it's in obvious danger, well, we can take our dog inside, or we can move that turtle to the side of the road. But that's all we need to do. Don't get more involved than that. When we start relocating animals, or certainly taking them out of the wild and then bringing them to the Park District and saying, what do I do with this bird? And it's like, well, you've already done too much, right? Leave it alone as much as we can. There's great resources for where you can learn more, and if necessary, take them to rehab. So ODNR's got a great little guide. I love this little thing. It says, is it injured? No. Is it in danger? No. Leave it alone. Like that a lot. And then Nature's Nursery is one of my very favorites, and that's the local rehabilitator. They're up towards Toledo, but they take hundreds, thousands of animals a year, and a lot of them, it breaks your heart because that could have been that animal could have been healthy, if we'd left it alone. But these guys have a great website too, where you can learn more about specifically what you're seeing in your yard. Before you get involved, check out Nature's Nursery online and learn about if you need to be involved at all.
Leave it alone. Famous last words of Dan Hodges. We thank him for his time this morning, and we'll be back with more, including medical, right after this.